Hello, everyone. Today, today on the 30-day challenge discussion doodad, it asks me to talk about my favorite gaming couple, but I don't. I've sat here for like 3 days now, trying to think of an answer to that question, and I legitimately cannot come up with anything. Oh my god, no. We're not going to talk about Sonic again. I refuse to allow it to happen. But I couldn't think of anything. I thought maybe I'd pick Hoonie Pop just because that's the only game that... But then I told myself I couldn't pick like a visual novel. Because, like, that's kind of cheating, I guess. And I wasn't going to pick... I don't know. You know, something from... God, what's the game? Any of the BioWare games. I wasn't going to pick any of those. God, no Sonic. If we talk about Sonic, I'm not doing it. We're not doing it! Christ almighty. Maybe I'll do a discussion where we just talk about Sonic one of these days, but not today. It's my first time seeing your stream. Well, I hope you have a good time. So I changed the question. The question about who's the best gaming couple was dumb in a way that I could not answer because I don't play many games that have... you know, couples in them, I guess, or any that I could think about that were relevant. So I've changed the question to, what's a game that really disappointed you, that we can come and talk about? And I've got many. I have so many. But I'm gonna pick one from my childhood that at least I think you guys will probably remember. Many of you will say, oh, fuck, I remember that. And I'm gonna talk about why it's disappointing, and kind of why everybody was excited for it in the first place. So let me go ahead and pop... It's Brink! Everybody's favorite. It's Brink. Brink is... Fuck me. Okay, so I bought this game. And of course I'll let you guys, you know, I'll read off what you guys write about stuff. But this game, I bought it. This was back in the day when I had an Xbox 360, and not only did I have a 360, I had 3 friends who I played 360 with, right? So I had 3 friends that we all played together, and generally when one of us bought a game, all of us would buy the game. Now, this time around, one of them didn't buy it, so 3 of us had it, right? Because one of them was sort of phasing himself out of the group because he decided that we're not cool enough for him, and he became kind of a dick. So there's just the 3 of us now. And all 3 of us buy this game on the same day. Now, one of us could not get it to run. Let's call him Ryan. Ryan could not get it to run. At all. The game was so broken that it would not work on his Xbox. Let's call the other one Michael. Ryan and Michael. R&M. Michael got it to run, but it was hot doo-doo trash. And he was just as disappointed as me, but the only thing is that he got it to run hours later because he had work that day, so he didn't get to experience it. So while I'm on a call with Ryan talking, he's upset. He's upset because it's not working, and I'm telling him what the game is, because I get it to run perfectly fine. This was a trend with my little group of Xbox boys. The games would not run for them, but they would run perfectly for me. I think their Xboxes were old and dusty. I don't even know. And I got this game to run. Now, I got it to run, but the first hiccup comes in the fucking tutorial zone where the tutorial just flat out is broken. I cannot complete objectives. It says, pick up this gun to do that. I cannot pick up the gun. I can't do shit, which is disappointing. Ooh, Jake Bolt with those tipperonis. A game that really disappointed me was Mirror's Edge. First-person platforming just does not work ever. Okay, let me actually go off of your tangent here. I'm glad that you wrote about Mirror's Edge. That's amazing. So this game came out, I believe, after Mirror's Edge. It came out around the time when everybody was really into parkour. There was a brief moment in time where people my age, you know, middle schoolers and early high schoolers, were really, really into parkour. And I'm just going to play the trailer for this game, and you can try and figure out why everybody was excited for this game just based on the trailer alone. You'll figure it out real quick what it was that everybody was excited for about this game. Fucking Bethesda, oh my god. I forgot that Bethesda did it.
We started building the Ark. Back then it was an experiment, a dream, a self-sustaining city of the future. The Ark is wearing out. The new guests live in slums. And now we're out of time. So will you save the Ark or escape it?
Today is a great day. Brother Chen has given the word. Today we move on from peaceful resistance to taking up arms to fight for what's right.
After today's kidnapping, the Founders have finally authorized the use of deadly force.
Captain, on deck!
It's showtime.
Watch the front!
Time to kick ass! Who wants some?
Bandit spotted! Get out of there! Look out!
There is no turning back. We must escape the Ark!
We must have order. We must save the Ark.
Fire in the hole!
We will have justice in this world or the next!
Eat frag! Look out! I'm in trouble!
I don't know whose side I'm on. They all look the same. Right. So the main premise of the game was you either played as police officers kind of trying to save this Ark. I mean, the idea of the game was pretty neat. There's this city built out on the water that's entirely, non-organic. It's all, metal and plastic and fake, built out on the water, and it's kind of become shitty, and you play as either, rebels or the cops. And I believe one gameplay aspect was if you played the single-player story, it was always online, so at any point, if you were playing as the rebels, someone else could join the AI on the cops side that you were fighting against, and that would and you would then have to fight somebody, which I recall hearing that it never worked. I don't remember if that's exactly how it worked, but there was some sort of multiplayer, single-player aspect that nobody liked and was poopy. One thing is that the single-player missions were literally all the same. Let's say level 1 as the rebels, you escort a car. Level 1 as the police officers, you escort a car. They're all the same. They're all the same. It doesn't matter. Police versus robbers in the future. I mean, yeah, it's a good premise. It's a good premise. Police versus robbers in the future. What's not to love? What's not to love there? So just the thing about this is that it's not just a generic shooter for the time. No. It's a little bit more than that. The fun of this game was the fact that it had parkour elements and the fact that the characters you picked were a little more involved. Back then, any character you picked in multiplayer did not matter. Everybody had the same stats. This was during a time when on the 360 at least there were not very many shooters, at least that everybody was playing. You have to understand it's not like computers where there's always going to be a little bit of an audience. Sometimes people are always even if there's fucking 100 people playing. It's not like that on the Xbox back then. If a new game came out, everybody moved to that one, and nobody played the old one anymore. Okay? So, this one comes out, and it was a little interesting, because you could pick a skinny character, a medium character, or a large character, and that directly related to what kind of parkour your character could do. And the parkour is the main appeal of the game. It's all over the fucking trailer. This was when parkour was big. That's when everybody gave a shit about it. And it was intense. People were like, "Oh fuck yeah, parkour." What ended up happening is that this game had such shitty parkour integration in relation to the characters. So what ends up happening is you see how this guy's kind of medium built. Nobody picked this character, and nobody picked the skinny character. Can you guess why? The answer, you can guess why, but the answer I'll tell you is because everybody's stats were dog shit. The stats in this game made no fucking sense. What ended up happening is you have guns that do, let's say, 5 damage, but this guy's got 4 health. right? Like, let's say the basic starter gun does 5 damage. A pistol shot to your chest does 5 damage. This guy's got 4 health. The skinny guy, he's got 2 health. And then the fucking big dude's got like 25 health. So everybody ends up picking the big guy because there's no way to play the game without the big character because you are too weak to fight in a fight. That is with shields, with body armor, like hiding behind cover, parkouring, nothing saves you. Nothing saves you from just a stray shot hitting you, unless you're the big guy. So nobody ends up using the parkour because the game is not designed around it in a way that makes sense with the stats, which is horrible. Let me also read this tip that Hourglass wrote. Super Paper Mario for the Wii. The characters and the story felt like a Paper Mario game, but the gameplay was absolute garbage, and I had to force myself to beat it. Oh, we're gonna talk about Paper Mario in another 30-day challenge discussion. If you want to talk about Paper Mario, I'm gonna talk about it in like 4 other episodes. I'm not even joking, and we're not even gonna just talk about my favorite one. We're gonna talk about other ones. We're gonna talk about Sticker Star. I'm not even joking. There's gonna be an episode dedicated to Sticker Star, and it's gonna be fucking garbage, I promise you. And we'll probably talk about Super Paper Mario also. Hello. I turn my alarms off for streams, but then they just go off anyway. That's cool, I guess. That's cool if I liked it to ruin my streams! Fucking Sticker Star. Oh my lord. Let me see if I can give any closing remarks on Brink. I bought Brink, I got home from school, immediately went to the game store, bought Brink, came home, played it basically until 30 minutes or so before GameStop closed. At 9 or 10 or whatever it was, and then drove back and returned the game. And the guy who sold me the game, I handed it back to him and said, listen here, this is the worst piece of shit I've ever played. Take it back. And he couldn't say no. He couldn't be like, oh, I can't give you a refund. Because I was there like a few hours ago, you know, so I got my money back in full. It was that disappointing of a game. The story was dog shit. The gunfighting was bad. The gunplay was bad. The guns were horrible. The unlock system was directly related to cosmetics, and it was not fun. They were not fun cosmetics. They were not a good time. It was just, everything about it was horrible. My friend got the game to run the next day. Ryan got it to run the next day. Michael played it that night. And I think they both held on to their copies forever. Because they just didn't want to go to the store, and maybe they traded it in for like GameStop credit, which is what, you know, young kids do. Because, you know, back then anyway, because now I think it's widely known that GameStop is dog shit. But back then, you know, kids were unaware of that. You know, kids like me. Though I was one of the first people in my friend group to learn how shitty GameStop was. But let me read Jake Bolt's tip. Thank you guys for the tips, by the way. I appreciate the extra money you guys are throwing my way. Really I do. This is I'm getting ready to move, you know, in August. You know, I'm going to start working soon, and then in August I'm going to be moving to New York, so any sort of extra money to help me pay my rent is exciting. But another game that disappointed me was Fallout 3. I've always wanted to make a, like, 5-hour video about how bad that game is and why. You know, maybe one day we'll talk about the Fallout games. Maybe after I finish this 30-day discussion thing, maybe we'll just do a discussion video every week talking about different things, different games, different genres. Things that are exciting to talk about, I guess. But let me go ahead and read some of the stuff you guys have written here. Speaking of Fallout, Fallout 4 was disappointing me because it wouldn't work on my computer, and now I'm super upsetty. Fallout 4 was more disappointing than 3, in my opinion. You know what's funny, Capra, is that Fallout 4 doesn't work on my computer either. If any of you guys recall, I started doing a Fallout 4 stream and was having a great time. I had found a gun called the Chipotle Experience, well, that's what we named it on the stream, which killed everything in 2 seconds because it was a broken piece of shit gun. We did all of the DLC, well, most of it, the important story-based DLC. We didn't do any of the building DLC. But the game broke mid-stream. It broke mid-stream, where by the end of it, I had encountered some sort of glitch where I couldn't interact, I couldn't progress, I can't remember exactly, but I couldn't progress in anyone's story. Like, it wouldn't let me. The game wouldn't register, I think, that the Institute existed. Like, I couldn't get into something happened, and the game broke. So I ended up ending the stream just by murdering every single NPC in the game that I could find. That was part of the factions. because it was just so fucking shitty, and I was just so done with this game being garbage because it was such a disappointing, shitty game. What job did you get in New York, Tony? Well, I don't have a job in New York. Not yet. I have a job here. I'm going to be working for a labor union to get myself, some money. And once I move to New York, because I have a sort of interesting rent situation where I'm moving in with an old roommate of mine from college, and her mother is purchasing the apartment or house or wherever we end up living, and we pay our rent directly to her. So we don't have to take out any credit or like do anything complicated. We just pay her mom rent, which is lit. So, but I don't have a job in New York yet. I'm creating a reel, for editing, and I'm going to try and get some jobs there. I may end up working for some sort of TV station. That's usually a pretty good starter job for somebody with my degree. I might work for a nonprofit. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'll do once I get there. I'll probably work minimum wage. My roommate is going to probably just get a job at Lowe's until she can't work there, and she's going for her master's. The reason I'm moving there is she needs a roommate, and she's going to be in New York for 6 years because she's getting her master's degree, because she's fucking smart. So she's probably going to be working at Lowe's because that's where she's working now, and they'll just transfer her to the New York branch. So I'll probably get a job working with her at Lowe's. But yeah, Majora's Mask is super fun, but it's been like a year and I haven't finished it because I don't like using walkthroughs. Ooh, I remember playing Majora's Mask, and actually, you know what? I played Majora's Mask without walkthroughs. I played Ocarina of Time with a walkthrough, though. I didn't actually enjoy Ocarina of Time that much. I'm not gonna lie, I played it when I was younger, didn't really enjoy it as much. Let's see here. Tony, you gonna get a waitressing job while trying to make it big? Also, Fallout 4 is more disappointing than my son. Oh, Romina, I appreciate that, Red Letter Media reference. That's good. It's more... Unlike your son, who hung himself in a 7-Eleven bathroom, the disgusting taste of Fallout 4 will always live on in your mouth. Like I said, I know they aren't out yet, but the Pokemon Let's Go games disappoint me already. Oh, I don't know if those count, I'm disappointed that they didn't announce Shrek Super Slam 2. Why would you need Shrek Super Slam when you can play Shrek 2? I should read through the Shrek 2 manual for my GameCube. I got a Shrek 2 game for my GameCube just on my shelf right here. Yeah, the labor union. The union that, the union that encompasses, people who do construction work, essentially. I'll be working in their tech department doing their IT. I'm not very qualified to do IT work, but they need someone. Everybody who works in the office I'm going to be working at is like a zillion years old. They don't really have that many young employees, and all they need is for me to just fix their computers and just Google problems when they're like, I can't turn the computer on, and I have to just plug it in because they forgot to plug it in, and then transfer their SIM cards to new iPhones because if they use anything besides Apple products, they're too complicated and they don't understand what's going on, and they have a mental breakdown because they're old and don't know anything. But I'm not an IT person. I don't have a degree in IT, but it's relatively easy work, and I'm being hired on my own terms. I told them I cannot work in an office 5 days a week. I will go in 3 days a week, and I pick what day I go in. And they need a person so bad, so they have to say yes. I mean, that's not the only reason. They're going to do it because my parents work there, and that helps. So, well, IT sounds like the stuff I'd be doing. Degree in IT, yeah. I literally bought a 3DS back in 2013 just so that I could play Sonic Lost World for the 3DS. One of the worst mistakes I've ever made in my life. Thank God I played some actually good games soon after. I wasn't very disappointed by most 3DS games because I don't know, I was much more willing to experiment with console games. I don't know why that is. I've always been super willing to try out weird games on a console, but when it comes to a handheld, I think it's because of the nature of handhelds. I don't buy games for handhelds that are not that great. Or at least I try to. I try not to. Because if I'm going to be out and about playing a handheld to pass my time, I don't want something that's bad. But if I'm at home and I'm just playing something on the console, if it's so horrible I can't even play it, I'll pop in another game. But you can't really do that, with a handheld unless you bring around every fucking game you have. But the 3DS does have a great library. It really does. I disliked most Sonic games. Holy fuck. Yeah, most Sonic games are bad. Tony, have you seen any Game Grumps playthrough of Sonic games? They're funny as hell. I'm a bad YouTuber. I don't watch the Game Grumps. I actually don't give two fucks about the Game Grumps. I know people like watching them, but they don't really appeal to me. Oh, that's just a tip with a fuckload of poop emojis. 5 poop emojis. That's 5 Patrick Stewarts, and I appreciate that. The Game Grumps don't appeal to me, despite making Let's Plays back in my day, despite making sort of similar things. They're not what I like to watch. I like to watch like Dr. Sparkle. I like watching videos that are like 3 hours long, and they're just really long and analysis videos about things. That's what I do. I'll put it on in the background while I'm like doing work. I don't like short funny make comments about video games videos. I don't know. I don't like those. The only Let's Player or streamer that I would watch is Joel, from Vinesauce these days. But I haven't even watched one of his things since his Dark Souls 3 playthrough, because I've been so fucking busy. I'll watch Dr. Sparkle every day of the goddamn week though. Fuck it. I don't talk about other YouTubers on my channel, because when people ask me, "Do you like this? Do you like this?" and if I say no or yes, people get mad no matter what my answer is. But fuck it. I'm going to pull up Dr. Sparkle just because I love him so much and because I think he needs more attention. So this is Crontendo. Look at those. Look at that. 47 minutes. An hour and 20 minutes. He doesn't even have like a trailer that plays obnoxiously when you join his thing. It's so fucking great. Here, let me explain to you who this is. This is Crontendo. He's only got 7,000 subscribers, though that should be 7 million, because this guy's fucking amazing. So his thing is Crontendo, where he goes through every single Famicom game in order of release date, where he like sort of reviews them and analyzes them and looks at the historical context of like why games, the historical context of that game when it comes out. And the good thing about it is, because he's looking at it in order of when it comes out, he's looking at all the games before it. So he's not looking at anything in the future, and the context that he's giving of that period in time is really important. What's funny is that if he does a game that's like a movie license game, he'll usually talk about the movie too, which is exciting. And he talks about all sorts of shit related to... He doesn't just do Famicom too. He does Cron Turbo, Cron Sega for Sega games. I think he also does another one, but it's not here. He does like a movie thing on another channel, which is fucking lit. But this guy's great. If you guys ever want something like super interesting to look into, this guy's stuff is great. One thing that's really funny is he talks about a lot of games that are historically like regarded as some of the best games, like on the NES and Famicom, but he looks at it from the perspective of when they came out, and he kind of compares them to other games at the time, and you kind of realize that a lot of the games that we regard as some of the best shit ever, sometimes they're not that great, and you have to wonder why they're remembered so fondly. But it's probably just because people didn't play things that were as good as that at the time. I don't know. It's really interesting. If you ever want something, if you ever want to find a YouTuber who is worth your time, this guy is fucking great. I love Dr. Sparkle. He's amazing. But let's see here. I only watch good content, low quality Hell's Kitchen episodes. I think I've seen almost every episode of Hell's Kitchen. The American version, of course. I don't watch the European version because I'm too much of an American idiot to want to do that. The European version of Hell's Kitchen is good, though. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just it's not as intense and stupid and ridiculous. And I get that the American version is played up like that because American audiences cannot handle, not yelling Gordon. But I like yelling Gordon. It's funny. I'm a stupid American. Why not? I played Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, and I didn't get the hype, honestly. Or I could just be a kid who doesn't understand the finer things of gaming. Well, I guess it depends on when you played it. If you're playing it now, I guess you'd be a little disappointed because you wouldn't be able to have the historical context. But if you played it when you were younger and you still didn't enjoy it, there could be many reasons for that. I mean, I didn't like Ocarina of Time simply because I loved Majora's Mask so much, and Ocarina of Time was just so much of not Majora's Mask that I just didn't give a shit about it. Mass Effect Andromeda was an incomplete hot trash. Let's talk about Mass Effect Andromeda, why don't we? Oh my god. Let's talk about... I unironically like Pokemon Sun and Ultra Moon. I've heard that Ultra Moon and Sun are good, but I hated Pokemon Sun so much that I could not even get through it. It was so bad. The cutscenes were so shit. Let's talk about Andromeda. Let's talk about Andromeda. Why not? Oh my god. If I recall... Now, I don't know the specifics of Andromeda. I don't understand why certain things about it are why they are. But I know... If I recall, what happened with Andromeda is that they were building it on, you know, just a regular engine that they had been using for the other games, and then EA came in and said, we're going to move you to a different engine. And if you look at old footage, you know, of why Andromeda is so buggy, why character models are fucked, why everything is weird, it's because like 70% into producing the game, like basically when it was done, they then had to port everything to another engine that just made it like completely fucked. I must depart. Have a good day, Tony. Thank you so much for stopping by. The engine port for Andromeda was one of the main reasons that it came out so buggy and fucked. Which is crazy to imagine. Oh, Pokemon Go. Oh yeah, we can talk about Pokemon Go being disappointing in a moment. But Andromeda, that engine change, if I recall, was one of the reasons. That and the characters are dog shit. The characters are complete dog shit. There's a reason that people nickname one of them Pee Pee Poo Poo, because she's just that bad. Pokemon Go. I think we'll end it on Pokemon Go. Though I'll read some of these other comments. I played so many Zelda games, so many. I played that one where you have to build clothes. It's for the 3DS. I can't remember what it's called, but it's got the same art style as it's supposed to be kind of like Zelda. God, what is it? Four Swords, where you play as like purple, red, you know, green, and blue Link together, and it's like multiplayer. I played the clothes one. You build... The way the game works is that you build outfits, and then as you wear them, Link will have different abilities. But the game wasn't very fun. Yeah, Tri-Heroes. Tri-Heroes was not good if you play it by yourself. It's only fun with friends. But the funny thing about it is that it will not work if you do not have a full group of 3. Well, at least when I played it, I couldn't figure it out. The way that the game worked is either you play it by yourself, and then you have to control 3 characters, which is not fun. It's not fun, the game is not built for that. Or, you have to play it with 3 people. And if you only have one friend who has the game, you're fucked, because then you can't, like, have a rando join, because it's Nintendo, and they don't need... They don't need to have good online, because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. But you can play online, so you'd have to play online with randos. I couldn't figure out how to get it so that you could play with one friend and one rando. It was either you needed 2 friends or you couldn't play. It was weird. It was weird. Maybe I just couldn't figure it out because the game was just so fucked. It didn't have like a menu system either. It had like one of those. It had like a Fable 3. The menu was in a zone, right? I just couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure it out. It's good to know that at least you could play with a friend in a rando. It's good that you guys are telling me you can, but I couldn't figure it out, and that made it not fun. The game is upsetting. The game is just upsetting. But let's see. We'll talk about Pokemon Go. I'll talk about Pokemon Go right now before we end here. Pokemon Go. Do you want to know why Pokemon Go was so when it first came out? It was a novel idea. It wasn't an original idea either. I don't know if you guys knew, but if I recall, Pokemon Go used the same servers as another game, like the exact same locations and servers and shit. So there was this old game. I can't remember what it's called. Let's call it Destiny. Why not? I know that's already a game, but we'll call it Destiny. I'm sure people will be confused if they come in halfway through. But so this Destiny game is essentially Pokemon Go. The only thing about it is that it did not have Pokemon as the things you were capturing. So all the landmarks that you see in Pokemon Go, at least when it first came out, now there's new ones that have been added, were from that old game Destiny, which is why and most of Destiny's player base was people in the city, which is why people in rural areas were so fucked when Pokemon Go first came out. Now, let me give you a rundown on why I thought Pokemon Go was disappointing. Now, when it came out, so it's already not an original idea, first of all. When it first came out, it was great. It was a fun time. Everybody was playing Pokemon Go. Everybody was playing Pokemon. Fucking Hillary Clinton made a Pokemon go to the polls joke, which was probably one of the most hilarious things I've ever fucking heard during a presidential campaign. That, and when fucking... God, if I could... one of these days, I need to just make a compilation of funniest fucking shit that happened during that campaign race. But Hillary Pokemon go to the polls is legitimately one of my favorite things, which I will quote all the time to my friends. I don't know. We'll just say Pokemon Go to the polls. We'll just say go, it's so fucking funny. I cannot explain to you. So Pokemon Go was exciting. Everybody was playing it. It was really fun. One thing that was fucked about it was... One thing that was really fucked about it, number one, if you were not in a city, if you were in a rural area, even certain suburbs, it wasn't that fun. Most suburbs were pretty fucked. I would know because I live in an area with a lot of suburbs. There were no hotspot zones, you know, to give you items, so you were fucked. You had to spend money. The gyms were fucked. You know, one guy gets whatever the meta Pokemon is. I think it was like Snorlax, if you got like a Snorlax or some shit. One guy puts a super mega level Snorlax in the gym. Nobody's taking that gym. Ever. Nobody's ever taken that gym. One thing that was super disappointing is there was no... I think this is one of the reasons the game died. It wasn't updated. This is what makes it disappointing. It was not updated as quickly as it needed to be. The Pokemon Go craze came and went as quickly as it did, I believe, because the game was not updated. They did not add other generations fast enough. They did not add legendaries fast enough. And they did not add any sort of fighting. Like, they had the game include... If Pokemon Go on release day had included a combat system, like where you could fight people with your Pokemon, and it was just like a regular Pokemon game, like not with the stupid... dumb as fuck combat that Pokemon Go had when it first came. I don't know if it's... I'm saying when it first came out because I don't know about it now. I haven't played it since it first came out. I haven't played it since a couple weeks before they added the other Pokemons. But had it come with that, I don't think it would have died. I don't think it would have died. One of the trailers literally had a combat system. Without the versus system against your friends, there was no incentive to play. Fuck that. And there's still no PvP by... Really? Even now, there's still no PvP. That's fucking stupid. That's fucking stupid. And it took almost a year to get... I don't even know. I don't even know how long these updates took, but they took way too long. Way too long. Had they just been quicker... And here's the deal. If this was a small indie game... Like, I don't feel bad waiting for updates from small indie devs, right? I don't feel bad if I gotta wait a long time, you know, for a game to update if it's not that, you know, not that big. But it's fucking Pokemon. Pokemon is like the most profitable thing in the fucking world. In terms of like, you know, it's like fucking Disney. And you're trying to tell me that they don't have enough money to get these updates coming out quick? Hire like a bajillion fucking... For fuck's sake. It should not have taken as long as it did for anything to happen. It was bullshit. It's legitimately bullshit. It's got Pokemon money, alright? It's like when you look at WoW, it's like when you look at World of Warcraft or Overwatch, or like other Blizzard games, and updates are coming out kind of slow, like Overwatch isn't updating with new heroes, and they're not really doing anything, and they're just we're doing community patches, guys, where we're trying to you know, make everybody stop being so toxic, instead of making maps and heroes, and you're like, you have fucking Blizzard money, and you're trying to tell me that that these updates are kind of coming out slow? You got fucking Blizzard money. You wake up in the morning, and you bleed money, and you're trying to tell me like these updates are coming out slow because you're trying to focus on community shit, and fuck you. Come on. Christ. I get that you need more than just money. You know, you need programmers and you need people with vision. But for fuck's sake, when you're rocking that Pokemon money, when you're rocking that Blizzard money, and these updates are coming out and they're not good, looking at you, World of Warcraft, they're coming out and they're not good, fuck you. That's unacceptable. It's ridiculous. I expect more. There's a standard of quality that I expect, you know, and Pokemon Go didn't hit that, which I think is, you know, why it's so disappointing of a game. Though people still play it, so I don't know. Apparently people still play it and have a great time. Stop being toxic, guys. Ooh. Please don't be Rudy Poos in our game. Ooh. Ooh. Multiplayer games just breed toxicity, you know? It's just the way it works. Tony, the TF2 team has like 6 people on the team, and they make better updates than Overwatch, right? Overwatch just needs more heroes. I don't need MMOs, they disappoint me. Ooh, notices disappointment. I hope you guys had a good discussion. I'm gonna try and do one of these discussion videos once a week. That's the plan. I know it says 30-day video game challenge, but doing one of these a day is a lot different than the original image I'm using. If I could pull it up, actually, here, give me 2 seconds. I'll pull it up so you guys can have an idea of what we're doing for the other days. But this original image that I'm using as my sort of template is God, let me zoom in. How do I zoom in here? Where the fuck did it go? Oh my god. Fucking default shitty photo viewer. So this was originally made as like a Tumblr post. If I were, oh, it's just gonna shrink it if I make it. Oh, that's good. That's good, Windows. I love that. This is a Tumblr post, so it's a lot easier to do this on Tumblr. It's a lot easier to do this on Tumblr. I love that you guys are just doing hello woo in my chat, by the way. So it's easier to do this once a day on Tumblr, but it's not really fit for making a video each day format. You know, it's kind of hard for me to do that every single day. But we'll do these once a week just for funsies. Once a week we'll try and get these done and you know, try and get through all of these. And most, you know, I'll try and do as many of these questions as I can, but as you can see here, I think I've changed maybe 2 of these because the questions are shitty. Like, I don't favorite game I don't have a game couple, right? Mr. Obama, please. Woo. Oh my lord. But let's see here. Are you gonna? Am I gonna stream later? The question of the day: will I stream later? Probably. There will most likely be a stream. You know what? We'll just do a stream right now. We'll just do one right after this one has ended, in 20 or so minutes, between 10 and 20 minutes from now, I guess. But thank you guys for joining me on this stream. I hope you had a fun discussion. I hope that we got to talk about stuff that you guys think is exciting. And I will see you guys on the next stream. Have a great rest of your day.